agree with a lot of what Russell Brand says. What?
I mean, no.
Well,
I'll just.
we have our entire next episode to get into that.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Two Guys Ago on the Tea, and we do nothing but deliver the tea here. We haven't been streaming for a very long time. I do apologize for that because, but for those that don't know how this show works, we basically talk about current issues with my beautiful and lovely co-hosts Meryl and Given, and we come together. Well, whenever we can to come together, whenever it's possible to do so, and yeah, we give our opinions on different topics. And on today's show, we're giving our opinion, our unsolicited opinion, because you all asked for it, because that's what we do on the internet. We're giving our unsolicited opinion in regards to Russell Brand and the whole allegations. Where did they go? What has happened? Why is no one talking about this? In September, everyone was talking about it. October, November, everything was going on, and all of a sudden, Russell is making more and more videos, continuing his trade. I mean, was he really cancelled at this point? They tried to cancel him. When I say they, I mean the government as well as everyone that was in response to everything that he was saying, and were coming out, and basically a lot of discussions were being had basically in regards to just the nature of the allegations, the credibility of the allegations, and we're here to talk about it today. So without further ado, let's begin. Given Meryl, thank you so much for once again joining me on today's show. How are you guys doing? How are you guys actually doing? It's been a while.
It's been a minute. It's been a hot minute, for sure. No, I'm doing swimmingly, I guess.
Oh, you sound like you've been to a funeral. I like so like everything all right over there in Amsterdam. I think you're from Amsterdam, or is it Rotterdam?
I am not from Amsterdam.
Where you from?
Not the entire. It's not like the entire country is Amsterdam. Thank you.
Oh gosh.
No, I did live in Amsterdam for 5 years, but it was
Right.
only 5 years because I
Right.
studied in Amsterdam. I went to university in Amsterdam. Anyway, no, I live in some town that's kind of melted together with Utrecht in the middle of the country.
Oh.
Anyway, no, I haven't been to a funeral in a while. It doesn't matter when the last funeral was that I went to. Anyway, no, I'm fine. I'm just tired, which is
You're cool.
every day of my life. That's what happens when you have chronic fatigue syndrome. Then you're chronically fatigued. But yeah, otherwise I've been doing pretty fine.
Well,
Yeah.
Given has dropped out, so I can't really ask him about how he.
Well, we can spend some more time on funerals.
Well, I mean, it doesn't look like he's been to a funeral, so but I would have loved to hear.
No, I know that it looks like this is black, but it's actually brown. It's just that there's not a whole lot
Well,
of
I
light
can
here.
see you, so that's fine. I mean, it would be a travesty if it was Given or me. So,
Yeah, probably. I mean, I wasn't gonna say it, but
but yeah, everyone that's tuning in, thank you so much. I'm just gonna give a quick rundown of the timeline that's happened with Russell Brand. So basically, he's as I said, he's continuing to make videos in regards to with his old YouTube channel. He is continuing to talk about what he's always been talking about. To be quite fair, I don't follow his content. I think I only followed it once in during the whole pandemic, as that was going on, etc. So I'm not really familiar with his work, but I hear he does speak a lot, or well, to be honest, when this whole thing happened, he does speak a lot in regards to what's going on in the zeitgeist, if that's the right word to use, the zeitgeist. He does speak about what's going on in society, the different hot current topics. Given you would know more about Russell Brand, I feel
He
like
does have a lot of thoughts.
I was sorry about that. That was so weird. I
No,
accidentally
no,
stepped- I
They are
stepped on
many.
the power line for the computer and it just shut it all down.
oh wow,
That is not a very, very smart move, my guy.
Bro,
Yes.
it was too extended because the other day I was just charging some of my stuff here, my equipment for work, and I overextended it, and instantly just bam.
nah, nah.
Right.
You're fine.
No. Anyway, no, we were just getting into like what Russell Brand's been up to recently. Like none of us have really been very. I mean, I can't speak for Given because he hasn't said anything about it so far. But neither of us two have been very into his content at any point. I mean, I have been looking into it leading up to this podcast episode now, so I am a lot more knowledgeable on it than I wanted to be.
I am really interested to hear your thoughts, but Given
I am disappointed in a lot of people, but I'll let you.
No, I enjoy his content. I actually I agree with him on a majority of things. He gets a
Like
bit more
what?
esoteric.
This is
gets
gonna
a bit
be
more-
this is gonna be a very
Gets a
annoying
bit more
episode.
esoteric and into the woo-woo, into the weeds of things. Because as myself, I've probably gone through an evolution recently of becoming like super Christian. So for me, when he goes into the
Is he a
universe
Christian?
and no, he's not a Christian. I said
Okay,
for
okay.
me,
I just
becoming more in the Christianity.
Right.
I've noticed that he gets into the woo-woo, into the spirituality of things, instead of, obviously we see things slightly different in that sense. But in terms of like his concepts about governments and big pharma trying to, corrupt and kill and, do everything they need to do to just make a profit, I completely
Right.
agree.
Citation needed.
I completely agree. I agree with that. You don't even need a citation.
I mean, obviously they're gonna want money because that's what every
It's the
corporation
truth.
wants. But like,
Yeah.
how can you make money on killing people? That makes no sense.
No, you can make.
Why would you kill the people you can get money from?
taxes.
You can make money. You make money on experimental drugs that
waste.
accidentally kill people, and then you refine them through the process to then do what you actually want them to actually do. Same thing that happens.
Let's not make this into a pharma episode because that's just gonna be no.
Oh
Let-
yeah,
let's
I mean,
just-
let me get this out.
censorship. So as okay, Given as
No, it's just because I've got so much to say that we can spend 3 episodes on it of just me rambling before you can even get a word in edgewise. So let's just stick to the Russell Brand thing, okay?
okay. So right. So what does he talk about? Just give us a quick cliff notes because I think you.
He's a lot into like transcendental meditation and more in Eastern philosophy, that kind of spiritualism, that kind of stuff.
The woo-woo, as I call it.
The woo. All right. So let me just give a quick timeline because you guys know how much I love timelines. It says so the next video he made, so the next video that Russell made after the whole, I'm pretty sure we're all aware of the video that he done in response to this whole allegations.
I'm aware now because I saw it this afternoon.
Yeah, so the next video he made was I thought it was very interesting because it kind of, I mean, sorry to be on the nose here, but it was perfect branding for Russell Brand. Again, sorry, so I'm so sorry. I did not mean that pun. It really, but I had a couple of thoughts.
Why don't we have a soundboard?
Wah, wah,
We
wah.
need a soundboard because no, that needed a rim shot. That needed a rim shot.
Oh God. Let me try and get it up because I'm using a.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
Oh my gosh! Stop it!
I've been spending my entire afternoon like watching stuff about sexual allegations, so
Okay, so
that's where my mind is right now.
all right. So oh, by the way, change the word to coitus instead of
Geslachtsgemeenschap.
No, coitus. I said coitus. Coitus, not what
Yes,
you're
but-
thinking of. But
Yeah, but geslachtsgemeenschap is cooler.
No, but no one understands.
I don't think we can say that. Yeah, I
It
don't
just
think I
means
can
the
pronounce
same
that.
thing. It just
But
means
no
the
one
same
understands
thing.
you, though.
Yeah, but if I've told people that it means the same thing, now they know what it means. That's how you learn words.
That's true.
We're not here to learn words. We're here to learn about loss of brand. So, oh damn it! I'm trying. I can't find. I'm struggling, guys, to
He's
actually
struggling.
get this. Okay,
Up.
so yeah, okay, got it now. Got it now. Got it now. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much, Brain, for coming through when I really needed you there. So this is the this is the alleged. Well, not alleged, but this is the video that he uploaded. I would say
Oh, I didn't see this one. I only saw like a 3-minute one specifically referring to the allegations.
right. So, but this one is straight after the last video that he done addressing the whole thing again, where it's moving over to Rumble, and this one he's
Right.
basically talking about the war or the state of and the legacy media war on free speech is here, and this is why I thought it was perfect branding. Before I go into the video, I just want to say hello everyone that's actually here. JH, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for tuning in, saying that they are looking forward to this. I am equally. I'm just trying. Oh damn, I forgot to get the chat up. Let me get a chat up so that I can actually interact with you guys. 1 second. Right. So
I
let me
get
get it
so
up.
annoyed whenever people start whining about the war on free speech. They still have platforms with thousands of people. Clearly, they're not being silenced.
See, this is why I said branding, because I agree
Like
with
these people are pretty loud for people who proclaim to have been silenced. I thought silence was like the opposite of loud.
Basically, there's been an attempt to basically limit the avenues at which they can communicate to people, essentially
Citation
limiting
needed.
their reach. Essentially,
Okay. So
how do you need
let
a
me,
citation for like what is just common information?
I wouldn't. I mean,
Yes, you
let me
do.
let me go to the video. We will go back to that point because you guys have raised a really good point there. Let me
become
just
rather apparent to me that there are persecutory forces at work, and we need to ensure that we can remain connected to you no matter what. Today, of course, we're talking about events of the last week, but in particular, the collusion between big tech and government, and an apparent concerted effort by legacy media and now the state and big tech to silence independent media voices. Obviously, it's difficult for me to be entirely objective given the events of the last week, but that is what we must try to do. And thankfully, we have some incredible reporting from the Grey Zone and elsewhere, as well as being able to introduce you to the concept of the Trusted News Initiative. This is a long-standing agreement between global legacy media organizations to cooperate with one another, to corroborate one another in order to shut down what they believe to be their true enemy, independent media voices. What do they mean by that? Do you think this is simply about business? Do you think that this is about clicks and revenue? Or do you think that there is something bigger at stake? Something of incredible ideological significance? What do you think is the relationship between the media and the state? Do you think, looking back at the last couple of years, in particular the pandemic and the current war, that there has been support from the media when it comes to government policy and a lack of accountability and questioning when it comes to very important and significant questions? Do you think that the legacy media has been investigating the causes of this war, the origins of this war, with the kind of vigor that you might have seen elsewhere? Do you think that the legacy media has been investigating Big Pharma, the imperatives, incentives, financial undergirding of Big Pharma in the way that they have investigated other matters? Let me know in the chat, let me know in the comments, because it seems to me more important now than ever before that we have to analyze, review, and understand exactly what's happening, literally on a global scale, between the mainstream media, the state, and big tech. Let's get into it. The author.
all right. Now you have to go watch the full video on your own. You have to go watch the full video on your own. But that video was, in my
Is
opinion,
a load of hogwash.
I'll ask you in a second why you're clapping. But this video to me but everything that he was referencing in those videos, it was referencing the allegations that was levied against him, because this is about, I think, 3 or 4 days after the a week after the allegations were levied. No, a week or two, sorry, 2 weeks, I would say 2 weeks after the allegations were levied.
Relatively soon
after. It's, yeah, I could have saved so much time there. But
you're welcome.
He released 2 small 3-minute videos addressing it and leaving it behind. And then from there, he then releases this video. The reason why this is perfect, and I mean perfect, is he basically dismissed, again, he calls into memory the allegations, but he doesn't address them. He doesn't even get into them. It's like he doesn't give it air or anything like that. And then he moves on to what he usually talks about, which is the COVID stuff, the war, all those things, ties it all together into one video, into one intro, basically, to some of the show, basically saying, hey, I'm being censored. Hey, all of basically fueling what everyone was talking about. Well, his base was talking about, I would say, people that watched him, they were mainly saying that he's getting cancelled for always putting the government on blast, that the only reason why they're going after him is basically because he's now getting a much bigger platform. He has always been at their next blah blah blah, cliff notes, all of those things. And then everyone, like,
that is the claim.
Yeah, but it seems like everyone has forgotten what he was actually being accused of, which is why I said it's possibly the best branding, because you can go to his channel and if you weren't on Twitter that day, you really wouldn't know that this guy has been accused of something, unless you type onto Google. But even now, when you type onto Google, you actually have to put charges, and then it will come up. Like Russell Brand on his own. Actually, you know what? Let me just check that, because things change in like
it comes up. If you type in Russell Brand and then you click news, it comes up about him denying claims of sexual assault on film set. The next article is Russell Brand claims the accuser has faulty memory of events and can't distinguish reality from acting. And then the one after that says Russell Brand describes appalling rape, assault, and emotional abuse allegation as very harmful.
Okay, you were talking about clicking on news. I was talking about just the
on the all.
Yeah, nothing. It doesn't come up.
There we go.
It doesn't come up.
Yeah, it doesn't come up unless you go on the news. Yep.
Unless you go on the news, which is what I'm saying. Because well, to be honest, I'll give people the benefit of that. Many may click on the news part and then it comes up. But on the first page where your most casuals,
so the casuals,
casual searches, there are some your most casual searches, it doesn't come up, and I'm wondering, hey, why is that the case? Like, what is going on? So given you were clapping, why were you clapping? And we'll get back to this in a bit. But why were you actually clapping for that?
I was clapping because it was a PR masterpiece from his side, in terms of putting out the classic, the enemies trying to get me, the corporations are trying to be against me. The same spiel Tate used when he was accused. It's the same tactic that, the enemy, the matrix, the establishment, and to
desperately want to be persecuted.
To be companies or these
Okay, continue.
Your time will come. We'll give you the floor.
I'll wait with bated breath.
Amen for that.
I'll be honest.
We praise that. What I was gonna say is, for all we know, he could have, because we don't know what the outcome of the case, so he could have committed the crime. It's 100% plausible he could have done it. 100%. The only thing is, now the reason it's probably come up is because someone probably incentivized the person to speak up in order to use the information. If let's say an establishment or a narrative is counteracting the popular belief and it's gaining a lot of steam, the powers that be, whoever they are, if they don't want that to go ahead, they'll dig through your past to find something you did wrong. And I guarantee everyone's done something wrong. And they'll find that and then use that. So he 100% could have committed the crime. And if he did, he deserves the time. 100% go jail, do what you need to do. But at the same time, for them to go find that, they had to have a reason to go looking for the person and digging in. Did he do something crazy?
because they did.
And knowing his past,
they did actually look at it.
likely they had to delve deep to find this information. Same thing with other people. They have to look in.
Did you watch the documentary?
What's the documentary of?
About the
Dispatches documentary.
Yeah, the Channel 4.
Yeah.
About the allegations.
Yeah.
Because that explains quite clearly why it's come up now and everything you just said. It's not like everyone's 100% trustworthy. That's obviously not true. But this is such massive conspiracy brain stuff. Like, why assume that there's this global conspiracy of people trying to silence because you're going against the popular narrative? Citation needed? Who are they? Who is they?
No, let me put it this way. Let's put it this way. Let me just ask you a scenario here. If you are in power, you hold the position of power, and you want your laws, the things you want to happen in the world to keep your power to happen. You have lobbyists, you're paying people to get your laws passed, or the amendments you want in certain laws to be passed. If someone poses a risk to that, you're obviously going to try and get that person removed. So there's always a power play between individuals. It's never just like for us to think that the people at the top really care about the individuals at the bottom and their well-being, and for us to live a nice, helpful, healthy life. They don't care. They don't give. They only care about is the bottom line. That's the key.
I'm gonna break in. I'm gonna break in for a second. First, that was not a question.
Yeah.
You said you were gonna ask. Second, it's a false dichotomy between either they want power and they're gonna do everything they want to keep that power, or they're just super charitable and want the best for us. It's not like I'm saying either of those. It's not that me denying that is what's happening at the scale you're suggesting means that I somehow think they're just so incredibly involved in our well-being and want the best for us at all times. That's not what I'm saying. That's a straw man argument and also a false dichotomy. And furthermore, you're already begging the question by assuming that is what those people are doing. Because if that is what they're doing, then that's what they're doing. But the question is if that's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. But from the outcomes you see in the world, that is what is happening.
No, that's not what's happening. Because first I'm asking whether that is what's happening, and then you said yes, it's happening because of these reasons, and I'm saying I have no evidence for those reasons, and then you say yes because it's happening, but that was what we were trying to question. So that's circular.
No, we're seeing what's happening in the world. Thus, we deduce that there is a greater power at work trying to make things.
What are we seeing in the world?
Poverty in Africa, the pillaging of Africa's resources from China, from America, from
specifically
France.
With regards to what would lead to people conspiring to silence Russell Brand.
No, because
I think what Meryl is referring to is the Western world, because I think that's where Russell is relatively.
But let me put it this way. If someone is giving people the willpower, the let's say the cojones to basically resist these corporations and try and basically establish their own law,
but that's what's happening.
I'm just saying, if someone, because that's what Russell Brand does, he tells people that these corporations, we need to stop supporting these corporations, we need to eliminate. So if someone's spreading a message about these corporations,
so you're already assuming that he's right.
No, but he is right because they are cancerous.
So you are assuming that he's right.
I mean, he's right. It's not.
It's
not like rocket science.
Wait. At the risk of going around in circles, just so that I can, because it seems to me that let me just ask everyone before you continue. who do you agree? Which one of you agree with Russell Brand's views in totality? And when I say in totality, it doesn't mean 100%, but it means greater than
majority.
80%, greater than 70%.
No,
I'll be given that. I'm
not
guessing.
at all.
Yes.
So
No.
yeah, okay, right, okay. So based on that, I can understand that Given would be more of believing that the government should have as little powers as possible to do anything, and they should be as transparent as possible to do anything. Is that a fair summation of what you believe?
Yes, they should work for the benefit of the people, not for
Right.
their own interests.
So
All
Meryl,
right, and do either of you think that I do not think the government should be transparent and should not be working for the benefit of the people?
That's what I was literally about to ask you. I was literally about to ask.
All right, because I'm pretty sure we can all agree on that.
Okay, right. So what?
Like, of course, I would be an idiot if I'm like, no, I want the government to not be transparent and not work for our well-being. That would be
No, but
Yeah.
but what Given is trying to say is sometimes the government push that envelope a little bit, and they keep pushing, knowing where their limit is, and they would do an overreach. The reason why I say overreach is because I actually saw a lot of people say this when this whole allegations was going down. They were saying that them setting up a special commissions in the UK government, basically, they had, I forgot the name now. Damn it, I forgot what it's called. But there was a little commission board that is at the head of broadcasting or something like that. I don't want to get this wrong, but basically, they were now tasked to message YouTube to demonetize Russell for what he's done, based on these allegations. YouTube complied, Rumble did not. This is why he's now moved over to Rumble.
Are we still talking about the physical relations allegations, or
Yes, we are going to physical relations.
why would the government want to silence Russell Brand over those allegations?
Right. I was laying
That
the
makes
groundwork.
no sense. Why the hell would the government care?
I was laying the groundwork for that because I was just giving that little brief recap to basically get to the point of, okay, so that's what Given was basically trying to illustrate. And correct me if I'm wrong, Given, but that's what I think he was trying to illustrate as the government using this power that they do have to, well, in this case, the British government, to basically reach out and actually stop you from making money from the content that you do make online, losing your livelihood. And many people call this a form of censorship because you're not going to continue speaking or continue making videos or continue doing all those things.
Your impact will be stifled, essentially. Yeah.
Well, yeah, sure. But how does that relate to these allegations?
Right. Going back to the allegations, because all those things were a result of the allegations.
Yeah. So the allegations come conveniently in height of popularity when someone is speaking against certain organizations. It's very interesting how the allegations,
or maybe weird thought, maybe they're true.
100%. I said there could be 100% be true. Yeah, that's what I said. I said this earlier if you were listening. I said there could 100% be true. But the reason they're coming out now is because this person who kept quiet for so long has been incentivized to speak up, is all I said.
Citation needed.
By the way, Meryl, just to ask you the question.
There is no evidence that is the
evidence
case.
is
There's no paper trail.
Meryl, just to ask you the question because it's been a while since I watched the documentary. I can't remember this little part. Was it Channel 4 that reached out to the people to do the interview, or was it the people that went out to Channel 4 and say, hey, we know this about Brand? Because that does put things into perspective a little bit. So what
I know there was a team of journalists. I don't know if they were from Channel 4 or just
I know what you
got the info to Channel 4. I don't remember that
forget
specifically.
Forget the channel. So basically, we've established that it was journalists. So who reached out to who? Was it the?
Well, they've been investigating this for a year.
Yeah, but
before the documentary came out.
They must have got something like.
Yeah,
Like,
there was. I mean, I watched this like literally this afternoon. So
right, yeah.
even though it's fresher, it's not like I've watched it long enough or often enough to have the details completely correct. But
Yeah.
from what I remember from a few hours ago, there was an event that prompted one of the alleged victims to contact Brand's agent or his assistant. I don't know, like his managing person.
His
Yeah.
To
relevant bodies, right? Just say
Yeah.
that. Yeah, relevant bodies.
there was something that prompted that person to then contact them by with basically saying, "Hey, I think you should know that all these years ago he did this and this and this to me," and that kind of snowballed into people finding out there were more people, and then an investigation started, and then now here we are. So
Right. So
and I'm by something, I'm not saying that we don't know what it is. It was detailed in the documentary. I just forgot specifically what it was. It was something like that he moved back somewhere and was supposed to get a job at a place that she was working. So she was like, this person, like the people here should be aware what this person is. So
all right.
now that he's getting a job here, I want them to be aware of the situation. That was more or less what I gleaned from it.
Did the person release the
Yeah,
because
a lot of stuff was released, including the response that they got back from the agent.
no, I mean, did they release what company this was that Russell was at?
I don't know. I do believe so. Yes, but I'm not sure.
Right. Okay. All right. So
I can just rewind.
no.
I have it open right here. So
okay, perfect. While you do that, the reason why I went down and wanted to establish this is because if the it does kind of nullify your theory a little bit, given because if it was the alleged victim, I'm going to say alleged for the purpose that these are allegations, that the alleged victim did actually reach out to the journalist, then technically speaking, they didn't just decide.
100%.
Hey, yeah.
So,
So
like technically speaking, 100% above board. If you're looking at this from like a scientific perspective, like most people do when you're trying to be rational, you're looking from a scientific perspective, and you're saying, what does the evidence show us? The evidence showed us this person came forward seeking, something, or like people to understand their situation. But the thing is, we don't have all the information. We don't know if that person was prompted by someone else who was paid to prompt them to
and that's why I said conspiracy theory.
Well,
brain.
obviously, this is what I'm
But
saying.
why are you giving so much air to these thoughts?
Because
given you must know how it sounds.
No,
though.
Like we have no evidence, but maybe it was aliens.
No.
I mean, come on, it sounds like you just want it to be a conspiracy.
No, I don't. This is why I said it. He 100%. This is why I said he could 100% have done the crime. I'm not saying he didn't do the thing.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying about whether or not that person was prompted.
But this is
let's just presume for the sake of the argument, because again, it's not the court case hasn't happened. If it happened, no indictment there. But let's presume for the sake of the argument that he did it. Beyond that, now we're discussing whether or not that person was prompted by government agencies to bring up the allegations. Now, there is no evidence for that part.
Yeah, there is no evidence for that part.
No, where's the evidence? Yeah. Where's the evidence that they were prompted by a government agency?
There is no
evidence that they're prompted by government agencies.
There is no evidence for that part.
Are we talking about Men in Black here?
No, there's literally no evidence for that part. I'm just speaking for me.
What is that evidence?
I just said there is no evidence for that part. I'm speaking for me. Understanding why certain things need to happen. There's certain things that need to, like, put it this way, like, we have pushes of narratives. It's not coincidence that certain things are being pushed in popular culture. It's not coincidence.
Sometimes things are coincidence.
Sometimes, yes, but at a larger scale, when things are moving into changes of policy and all these things, when the majority is resisting, but the minorities is pushing it, factor in these
You know
corporations
what's
trying
also
to.
a minority idea that is heavily being resisted and that's not getting a lot of airtime in the media? Flat Earth.
Yeah, 100%.
So what?
100%. I don't believe in flat Earth. What are you talking about?
Does the mere fact that a specific kind of narrative is not getting the same amount of attention and credence as another kind of narrative in any way, shape, or form prove that that is the truth and the rest is an artificial narrative that's being pushed? Or maybe it's the dominant narrative because it's true.
She's got you here,
No,
man.
no. I'm talking about in terms of like the behaviors of people and how they want people to behave.
I can't believe I'm actually.
There's no
agreeing with Mary
evidence
so much.
of that to this kind. All you're saying is like I can think of a motive why they do that, so it's likely that they did that. That's
No.
not how this works.
Guys,
No,
chat.
you see,
You know how much coordination you need for that, and this is Russell Brand. Nobody
you
takes this
don't-
fucker
no,
seriously.
You don't even need that much coordination. You don't even need.
You absolutely fucking do if you don't want there to be a
actually-
paper trail.
You actually. Wow.
By the way, guys, this is
Yes.
This is the first time I think I have ever agree with Meryl on so many points,
Yeah.
because I am the same way here. I'm like I don't like to give Ed the things that I kind of need to see, even if it's just a tiny little shred, like
Bit of evidence.
let's say David Cameron, right? He made a call to this person. That will be enough.
Yeah.
A call.
Yeah.
Even if the call was to
Like,
be like
Any involvement from the government in before the allegations came out.
right. Even if the call
Anything.
No,
was
100%. Put it this way.
was a
Put it
wrong
this way.
number.
Put it
Even
this way.
if David
Put it
calls
this
the
way.
wrong number, you know.
Put it this way. Is the probability high? No. Is it plausible? Could it be possible? Yes, it could be possible, but the
I do
possibility
not
is
consider
low.
it as even as plausible as you think.
Tessa, welcome to the chat. Jenny,
Tessa's here! Yay!
welcome. Jenny, for those that don't know, Jenny Cartledge.
Jenny's here! Yay! Jenny was on an earlier episode with us.
Yeah, where we were talking about the whale, and that was amazing. I love that episode. She says that there are complaints that have taken place historically. As far as I can see, if anything, I think the lack of action of the complaint is more telling. And you know what? Well said, because
yeah, there have been complaints all the way back to I think 2003 or something, like a long time ago.
And even with these complaints, because the complaints do date back, because that's what the dispatches was kind of focusing on, because they date back to 2003 to 2011 or 13. No, the allegations was some of the allegations was in 2013. 2013. But the complaints was when he was working for Big Brother, BBC, the radios, etc. But even with the current complaints, and this is maybe, I'll just read. I will just kind of continue to give the timeline, and then let you guys come to your conclusion as to what's currently happening. So basically, after the whole video that we played at the start been released by Russell, another complainant came forward in November 2023, and and this was a Jane Doe in New York. They used I forgot what it's called, is the Survivors Act that has just been enacted or brought into law, that for this year, or for 1 year, I should say, not this year, but just 1 year, that time period, old allegations can be revived that has not met the statute of limitations, all those things. Those allegations can be revived, but it's only for this 1 year. So after this year, no more. They now, for full disclosure, there have been a wave of allegations. Like it's not like it's always going to happen, because now there's a illegal change, and then you're gonna have you're just gonna have it. It's like it's like going to Nigeria
Yeah, it's
with
just
white
like
guy for the first time, and
it's
then and
it's
then
it's like
everyone
the increase in left-handed people as soon as left-handedness was no longer discouraged in schools.
right. So what? Wait, what? I didn't know that.
No,
Wait,
do you know what the word sinister means in Latin?
no.
Left.
Oh, I didn't know
The
that.
word the reason the word sinister means what it does now is because left-handedness has been demonized for millennia.
It's the same thing.
I
It's the
knew
same
about the
thing we're seeing now.
demonization, but I didn't know. I thought it was just like
And
societally, like like you and I walking down the street, like, hey, you got left hand, you're evil. I didn't know it was like when you're in class and all those.
oh yeah, I was discouraged in schools for a long time. I only have data from the US, I believe, but in Europe it was Europe as well, because that's where English comes from, and that's where the word sinister got its current meaning. And also, if you're proficient with both hands, it's called ambidextrous, and dexter is Latin for right. So it means that you have two right hands while having two left feet or two left hands is a way to say that you're being clumsy or so. The left hand is bad and the right hand is good.
Okay.
And dexterous is positive and sinister is negative. So that connotation has been around for millennia already. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why, specifically in religious context, like left-handedness was like it was a demon possessing you and that kind of stuff. It's weird.
Yeah, so these are so there were more complainants. This is by the Guardian. They were probably the only ones reporting on this. And it was, I think it says here 2 more came forward, and I think this one is in the UK. So they went forward to the police, right? They went forward to the Thames Valley Police. The one I was referring to, if I can find it, damn, I can't find it. Well, that does me good. That's really helpful. Right. Okay. Oh, right. It was okay. I can't find. Yeah, I can't unfortunately find the article that I was referring to, and it's gonna take me a while to actually look it up. So, so I'm just gonna this is a trust me bro source now. So it's became an a trust me bro source that I didn't think it would. But basically the point is the Jane Doe that came forward in America, I think it may have been that article that we were reading from, but she came forward in America. She basically alleged that when she was an extra on this show, I think it was Eartha or something like that, but she was extra on that show, that Russell had led her into the bathroom and forced her to give him oral coitus. We just go with that, oral coitus. So again, forced, not consensual oral coitus. So forced.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of the stories are of him forcing himself onto women. And if you just look at, I mean, I can really recommend the documentary because obviously, obviously, rewatching it maybe, but also just for anyone who's watching right now, that obviously a documentary has a point of view. That's what it's a documentary for. Like it's trying to convey a point. That's the point. But there's enough in there that shows a consistent pattern, not just through manipulation and cutting things together, but like an actual consistent pattern of overt sexual behavior, not always with the explicit consent of the people involved and kind of unwillingly, and kind of they're just, because they're on camera, they're just kind of going along with it, or people are just like, well, this is a celebrity, or people don't want to catch flack because Russell Brand's such a big name. Like, you don't really go on camera and not like, no, F off, that's not a thing that you'd easily do, but people are still visibly uncomfortable and that kind of stuff. Like there's so much meat on the bones of these allegations that obviously legally not going to say whether he did it or not, but if he didn't, I'll eat my shoes.
Okay, so now this is what I'm going to say that it could give. Okay, it's now, or after all these things we just read, about the people coming forward, the more complainants coming forward to the police, all those things. The police opened a second investigation, and that was about it. So no arrests was made, and the reason why, I
No,
mean,
because
from my perspective,
there's another thing at play that I'd like to highlight, because
go ahead.
I found the documentary profoundly disheartening, because it's not just that he did those things, which is already abhorrent enough in and of itself. It's that he has continually he's been given the possibility of just getting away with it, and people knew that he was a bit off in some ways, and he still got more shows and more hosting jobs. And there was this one time that he was even like suspended from the BBC for a prank call on Andrew Sachs, who
Yeah, I heard about that.
that was
I heard about it.
painful,
I mean,
and all that stuff. And he never got any consequences for it with any of the channels he was with, for any of the programs, like a suspension at most. But why is this guy still getting employed?
Well, I mean,
as much as he is.
Well,
He's
I mean,
self-employed now, isn't he?
like,
There's and this is something that we've seen in the Netherlands as well, especially with The Voice. There was a similar kind of documentary a few years ago by Boos about that kind of sexual misconduct behind the scenes at The Voice here in the Netherlands. And people just keep getting away with it, and people just kind of cover for each other. So it's really funny to me that he's railing against like silencing and censorship while he's been on the benefiting end of that silencing, because every time something happens, it's just like kind of moved under the carpet, and he can just move on.
well, I
And he
mean,
doesn't face repercussions. Like, why are we letting people like that still get employed? Not based on assuming that the sexual allegations are true, but like his conduct in general,
no, I get where you're coming from, and again, I'm not condoning this by saying it, but this was 2008. I mean, it wasn't just Russell Brand doing it. Well, 2008. This is 2000s. The 2000s. I'll just put it like that. In that era, this was that. So again, I'm not saying I actually agree with this, or like, I'm not saying that. Well, I'm just trying to bring a bit of, what's it called? It's not cultural context, but I'm trying to give a bit of context to that era that we were, what I'm trying to say is, this was in a time in which John Barrowman, I'm not saying he was doing what Russell was doing, but John Barrowman was actually known, especially going on Doctor Who set and all that. He was known for like running into like people's changing rooms naked. Like he did that. He literally went and flashed, etc. He didn't do to this level, but he was like exposing genitalia was something he was he did at that time. And of course he's come out
without people's explicit consent.
Yes, but of course he's come out and obviously denounced that behavior now. When it was brought up with the No Clock, when No Clock made the comparison to what, because No Clock was accused not recently, but 2 years ago, 2021, of his own misconduct. We're not going to get into that here, but what I'm trying to say is, in that time, this was something that was basically going on, and the reason why I brought that in was to say that the reason why I brought that in was to just basically say that part, or at least all of those things, that was, no one got punished for that. Basically, that's basically what I'm gonna say. Like, there was a lot of normalization going on in that time period. The reason why I was saying there was no arrest made or anything like that is because you can arrest somebody to go and get their statements. And this is outside of, by the way, this is outside of the entertainment field, because that's why I mentioned the arrest part. This is now in the hands of the police. They went, based on the article, 2 more complainants went forward to the police. The police opened a second investigation. Until today, like, you can make, like, you make an arrest, you hold them for like 24 to 48 to 72 hours, or however you need to hold them, but you gotta let them go at some point, or you press charges. you don't have to press charges when you make an arrest. Like the police are not required. That's not a thing. They can always come back and press charges later, etc. But what I find interesting, well, I mean, I think that's how it works in the UK. Just to put it out there, because I don't know how it works in the States, etc. But the point is, no arrest has been made. You could get him on statements, all those things. What do you think is going on when that is not happening?
Well, obviously, it's a government conspiracy.
Well, I mean, it's helping given. It's helping.
Lack of evidence, isn't it?
It's the flurfers. It's the damn flurfers. I swear. The flurfers are behind this, and the creationists. All of them. No, but in all seriousness, it's very hard to get it to stick to someone like this, as we've noticed with so many similar cases of celebrities being accused by multiple people of this kind of misconduct. And it takes a lot to finally get these people to be brought to task. I mean, we saw the same thing with Epstein. We saw the same thing with Weinstein. All the Steins. All the Steins.
That was quick. That was quick.
But both of those had already had allegations against them previously.
Yeah, no, but Epstein actually got some. It's a plea deal that was never imagined to have ever happened in the realm of humanity. I don't think Russell can ever get that. I don't think that could ever happen. But the point I'm
But what I mean is that there is some kind of inertia for people with a lot of status, people who bring in lots of.
I get what you're trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, at least Epstein was charged. That's different. I'm saying Russell is not even arrested.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
But Epstein stuff was also on a
global,
profoundly larger scale.
No, 100%. I appreciate that, but the point I'm trying to drive home is, why?
I mean, even if Prince Andrew was involved, like, come on.
Oh, did you see that interview?
Oh, that was. I have never cringed as hard in my life. I watched it. I wanted to die. Like, I just wanted to. I wanted the ground to open up beneath me and just swallow me whole. And just cover me in a blanket of ignorance, so that I just never had to think of that again. That was so. I mean, you have to be a specific kind of. I can't find any adjectives. A specific kind of persons to think that anyone is buying what you're selling. Like, I was watching it, I was like, man, I'm not zigging what you're zagging here, bro. I'm not with it. I'm not with it. Like, oh yeah, but you know, it was actually a red sweater, so who knows? That's not what he said, because I forgot. But oh yeah, because that denies everything. The fact that you were on a photo, like, oh yeah, but that's actually someone else's arm around her.
But
whose arm?
Okay,
is there, like, behind the door, like, just a ghost arm? That's just
okay. But
family trying to
but in regards to, I want to ask you, Given, why do you think no arrest has been made to at least get a statement from him? Like, at least a statement, just to have it on record. Like,
yeah, I think at that point he was in favor. He was playing, you know, he was kind of like ingratiated with the people in power, essentially the people in Hollywood. You know what I mean? They kind of liked him. He was the English bad boy. He, you know, was seeing Katy Perry or whatever. He was.
I saw him on Forgetting.
Was, yeah,
that was the first ever time I've seen Russell. By the way, like in a movie, I've never watched Centurions. I've never watched anything that he's been in.
Take him to the Greek.
Big Brother, yes, of course. I was too young to even like realize what was going on.
But essentially, he was with, like, he didn't care too much about anything else. He was just in his own little world, doing what benefited him, and realizing that, you know what I mean, eventually being around those people, obviously they would protect him because he's part of the group, as they say. A lot of people allude to this. A lot of people who are who have been celebrities, like MIA, the girl who sang Airplanes.
Mm-hmm.
Fly high like a plane. That girl. She basically said that she
Not a
was
clue.
okay.
Is it Haley Williams?
MIA. I don't know what her name is.
Oh, am I?
MIA.
Haley,
Oh,
Yes.
Haley
I
Williams is the
know who you're on
singer from
about.
Paramore, right?
No,
MIA.
Haley Williams, but
She's like a rapper.
Haley Williams is, but MIA is a
I think
rapper
the song
that
Paper Planes.
Kanye
Maybe
West
okay.
made a song
Let's
after.
continue. We do have a time limit for today, so
basically-
let's just continue.
Basically, all I'm saying is that she was saying that she was offered basically to be ingratiated into this world of fame and to be given a large, following and more records and to be made popular. But she could do what she wants and she would never get in trouble, essentially. And
Right.
she rebuked that. She said, "I don't want to do that because I know the strings and attachment that comes with that, the darkness that comes with that." So she said, "I don't want any part of that." Hence, her career essentially died. So essentially, Russell Brand was ingratiated with these people. He was just that Hollywood bad boy people wanted to be around, and he had that almost cover of protection. Look at Philip. Whenever BBC, when he was alleged, pedophile for grooming kids, the way they treated him because he was ingratiated with them, they kind
Phil-
of took a
Phil-
softer blow on him because he's Philip. He's Philip. We love him. He's been with us for so long. He's a household name.
By the way,
That's what-
alleged, call it alleged coitus with little ones.
alleged coitus, basically. So he was
what
he
Philip
was
already talked
kind of
about.
he was kind of coddled, essentially. That's all I'm saying
Right.
is he was ingratiated with them. They gave him leeway. The minute he turned his back on, their grace, the grace was gone.
Right. So, okay. So, going back to the point in regards, first and foremost, do you guys believe that Russell was right when he was saying what he was saying earlier about him trying that they're trying to silence and censor YouTube creators like?
Okay. Let me put a
that's
footnote. Let me put a footnote here because
Okay,
it is that this is what bugs me so much because anytime you go against that narrative, people just immediately strawman the ever flying heck out of you. But the thing is, it's the same data that we're looking at, but we've got two different conclusions. It's not that we have different data necessarily, because it is true that there are methods to kind of, well, I don't like the word silence in this case, but to just not let all information get
Dilute.
equal airtime on. I mean, again, we don't give the same amount of attention to flat earthers as we do to people who are not flat earthers, because
flat earthers
some
can
things
allowed-
are just
they're allowed to
because some
speak
things
without-
are just
without
facts. Some
getting-
things are just facts.
But flat
they're allowed
earthers
to
can
speak
make money
without
though.
getting,
They're like they're making bank
cancelled.
on YouTube. They're making bank on YouTube. I've seen
They're
their
not,
views.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? They're not getting
I've seen
cancelled
your
left,
views.
right,
Yes,
and center.
but then there's a massive difference when we're talking about COVID stuff, because that kind of misinformation kills people.
kills.
And then,
people.
I mean, let's be honest. Furfers, lot less harmful than COVID misinformation spreaders. Regardless of what, let's leave in the middle what that misinformation is, because that we don't need that. We can all agree that some information is true and other information is not. What those information pieces are doesn't matter.
Gotcha.
That information that is not true will therefore be harmful and dangerous because it's not true. It's not what science actually says. It's not how virology, epidemiology, all that kind of stuff actually works.
Gotcha.
Then there is a far bigger incentive to do something about it, because, and you can even bring in the governments want to have money argument into this, because it's hella expensive if all of your population gets sick and dies, So they do have even a monetary vested interest into making sure that their populace is not necessarily as healthy as they could be, but at least not dead, So,
Right.
because the government all of our governments have been spending so much money on keeping the economy going through the pandemic, it was super fucking expensive. And then people are like, oh yeah, the pandemic was caused by the government. I was like, that makes no sense, even if you just see them as corrupt people who are only out for money. That's what I mean.
It wasn't caused by the government. It was caused by
contributing to
China.
the emissions. Come
It
on,
was a lab leak.
Well, both of you were talking over each other. What I wanted to say, because just to reel it back to what I started with, the data is the same. Namely, that some information in the COVID situation didn't get as much airtime as other information. We're both looking at the same data, but some people are looking into that like, oh, they're just doing that to harm all of us, and they're not letting the truth come out. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, well, they just don't want like this to get even worse than it already is, which doesn't mean that I'm just like, oh, they're just angels who just want us to be super healthy and that's all that they're interested in. No, even with the money argument, you can still say that's why they're fighting misinformation.
Right. Okay. So let me throw this out here, right? Because we're covering the next time that we're going on, we're going to cover the most famous person right now, J.K. Rowling.
Good to know. I'll make sure that I have some blood pressure lowering medicine ready.
Yeah, sure. Make sure you take.
I'm gonna need it.
You see, this is the thing. Like people just.
I'll be very quick.
No, because I already know that talking to both of you, I'm gonna be frustrated as heck.
Hold on to that thought. Hold on thought.
I'm holding on.
I'll get back to you. But
I'm holding on.
In regards to J.K. Rowling, right? And and with the cancellations that she's now recently facing, again, we will get on to J.K. Rowling in the next show. We're not gonna do it here.
It's Rowling, by the way.
Rowling. I'm African. We say things differently.
It's your bloody country, mate.
I wasn't born here. I was born in Nigeria. Anyway, English is not my first language either. I speak 2 more languages on top of English. No, the point I'm trying to make is J.K. Rowling, like row your boat and whatnot. So J.K. Rowling basically she was supposed to do a screenplay in regards to with the work that she done with Harry Potter, and the people are now advocating for her to get cancelled, right? So she hasn't been cancelled by the government. She hasn't been cancelled by businesses per se, because obviously she's now working in this book deal.
You can't cancel her. She's way too big. You can never silence her.
No, hold on. But my question is, with what's happening to J.K. Rowling, just opposed to what's happening with Russell Brand, are we getting into the point? Because I'm looking at this case and I'm like, are we getting to the point in which authoritarianism is actually normalized?
No. And once again, no. Is it authoritarian not to let bad people get airtime for bad ideas?
Yes.
Why? You know what word comes up in my mind?
Hold on.
I have one word: accountability.
That's fine. But I'm saying
there's a difference between holding people accountable, finally, and authoritarianism.
But Meryl, I'm saying at one point under the systems under authoritarian systems, there were actually people that were considered bad people, and bad things happened to those bad people that were considered bad.
Those people had bad reasoning for why they were bad people.
But I'm not talking about bad people. I'm talking about just people. I
definitely count J.K. Rowling under bad people. Like not like she's inherently bad, but like her takes have definitely been off.
Yeah, but that's...
So we're canceling them because of one take, and then that's it. But this is
one
crazy.
Take. She's consistently been campaigning against trans rights for years. Yeah, but she can be held accountable. She won't be hurt. She's a fucking multi-billionaire. She'll be fine.
But that doesn't change. We're gonna get to that on the next show. I didn't want to go into J.K. Rowling. I just wanted to make the point.
No, but seriously, why is it so bad to hold people accountable?
You can hold people accountable, but this is what I'm saying.
No, apparently not, because if you're holding them accountable, then suddenly it's authoritarianism.
But that's what prison is for, though. We hold people accountable through prison. We hold people
if
accountable.
Only if it's a crime.
If someone says something that hurts your feelings, brother, let's move on.
Oh, nice straw man, bro. Yeah, campaigning against trans rights is hurting people's feelings. No, it's getting people killed. Okay? For real.
Okay, well,
She's
I mean,
not doing that. She's not actually telling people to
She
go.
is, but we'll
She's
get
not
into more.
telling people
That
to
is
go.
not how it works. It's the
But you're
rhetoric that dehumanizes people.
you are
No, listen, no,
attributing.
no, I'm not gonna stand for this shit anymore. I'm not saying that she's not saying, oh, you need to go and kill these people. No, it's the rhetoric of dehumanization, constantly painting these people as pedophiles and groomers for just trying to live their lives that makes people hate them. And that's when hate crimes happen. That's stochastic terrorism. Look up the term. It's the same thing that led up to the Holocaust.
But I think
it's
again,
the same method, not the
look at
same
it.
scale. It's the
Look
same
at it.
method.
Like, explain this.
Yeah, but
Let me put
Go
this
ahead.
form. Let me just ask you this. I think again, we have to be, as thinking people, we have to try and put ourselves in all people's shoes. Okay, we have to try and be empathetic to everyone. Listen.
Yeah, let's be empathetic to Hitler while he's campaigning against letting the Jews live. We have to put ourselves in his shoes.
Listen, you have to put yourself in everything. For you to understand humanity, you have to be able to put yourself in other people's shoes. Come on now.
Yeah, but what is your point?
My point.
What do you want us to do?
My point is from the optics of what is happening, especially in terms
Oh
of
yes, optics, because that's the issue. Okay,
Caleb,
what do you want to? Caleb, what do you want to say?
Let me just finish. Let me finish. When people are parading half naked and wanting kids to join in half naked, that doesn't send the right message. This is all I'm saying.
Such a dumb argument. This is not at all the issue. This is not at all the issue. This is such a massive fucking straw man.
I'm not strong. I'm just saying the optics. That's what I'm saying.
This is unrelated as hell.
Into that on the next show. That's fine.
Trans people does not equal people parading half naked in the streets.
Meryl, we'll get into that on the next show. Like, what I'm trying to ask is, because you mentioned Hitler. Let's be fair. Hitler used an authoritarian regime, and he viewed the Jews as bad people.
Mm-hmm. And J.K. Rowling views trans people as bad people.
But that's the point. Should
just viewing people as bad people?
That's the point.
By the way, I'm not saying that she's just as bad as Hitler. It was deliberate hyperbole, just making that clear.
Okay. By the way, she's not saying. I wasn't saying that she's saying that. What I'm saying is that regime enabled Hitler to do what he did, and I'm saying the juxtaposition I was making here was basically saying that it seems like we by how cancellations is normalized now, because I remember going through a period where it was such it wasn't a thing, like it wasn't something that people would actually advocate for, like trying to get someone off something. But in 2014, 15, 16, around that time, it basically became a thing. So I'm now seeing like a normalization in which people can actually advocate for things like this, and it becomes easier if someone is deemed as bad, but they don't actually do anything bad in their lives. They actually live. If government was to actually decide to step in, J.K. Rowling would actually be dead, and you guys would actually celebrate.
I'm not gonna celebrate if she gets hurt. Like, I don't want her to get hurt.
But people are calling.
You said you would be celebrating. That includes me.
Okay.
Are there some people who would be celebrating? Sure. There would also be people celebrating if any given popular person would die. That's just what happens if you're celebrity.
Okay. But the celebration is not. It shouldn't be the point of focus. The point
people were actually celebrating last year when Brianna Ghey was murdered, a trans teen. Like, people were like, there were even people saying these kids that murdered her should not be prosecuted because they know what's right for society. I have the screenshots.
So what we can conclude from this is there's going to be people in each camp who are going to celebrate the death.
There's terrible people on both sides.
There we go.
Your point?
That's fine. The point I'm trying to make is, well, not make the point. The question I wasn't even making a point. I was just asking a question. Basically, I was basically asking a question to basically say, look, are we going into an era in which it's kind of making a pathway for authoritative regime to actually be brought in? Because we already have cancellations. So like is the next part government? Because the reason why I asked this is because I did find it concerning that we're seeing the government actually step in to, well, the British government in this case, step into right to Rumble, YouTube, and all that, saying cut his money off. And these are private businesses, by the way. So like are those things that we should actually be encouraging the government to do? Is basically my question.
No, we shouldn't. We should allow people to spread their views and let their views be tested against other views and let the strongest views win in an open forum. Let that happen. Let us debate if we need to, discuss if we need to, and let people pick where they fall, and let's just communicate in harmony and live peacefully. We hope that's the dream, isn't it? We can communicate ideas, we can disagree, but we can shake on it and say, even though we disagree, go your way and be happy. We go away and we be happy. And it is what it is. We live cordially and we move forward as humans together in peace.
Yeah, it would be nice if she actually did that.
Yeah, but in response to my question, Meryl, what do you think?
Can
Okay,
you
yeah. So I was gonna say,
boil down the question a little bit?
yeah. So what was the question? The question was basically, do you think that we are now moving into the authoritarian
No.
regime where
No.
authoritarianism is actually encouraged because of?
No, absolutely not. Because time and time again, the people that are being accused of silencing others are not the government. And you cannot be authoritarian if you're not actually the one in power.
That's what I'm trying. But that's why
I see no connection. I see no connection between the government and the people that cause other people to be like. If you're demonetized, it's not like the government is out to get you or something. It's mostly because people get flagged and people get reported, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but Meryl,
yeah,
with every respect, the UK government actually did. Like the Commission's office over here for broadcasting actually wrote to YouTube, Rumble, and all those people and put pressure on them to say demonetize them. Only Rumble was the only one that was like, no, we're not doing that. Everyone
Same thing
else
happened to Tucker Carlson with his Putin
can
interview.
you send me those links, because I do not have that data and I would like to look at it before I say something about it.
The same thing happened with Putin and Tucker Carlson with the Putin interview. They're saying that they're going to put sanctions on him to not allow him to travel to the EU in the future because he had one conversation with one guy that everyone doesn't like.
Oh, doesn't like. That's a way to phrase the situation.
But
he invaded Ukraine in an attempt to restore like the Soviet Union size, and he's been responsible.
They don't like him. Is that
it's just because we don't like him? Just like Hitler, man, we just didn't like him.
No, but he's talking about Carlson.
Carlson
went to interview him, and he's not allowed to go back into the US. He's not.
Yeah.
He's not.
All I'm saying is Tucker Carlson didn't do anything.
Oh, if I not like it again, it's not because they don't like him. Like that's such a straw man. Every single time, it's just because you don't like him. No, we don't have.
Even I don't like him.
All he did was interview him, though. Like that's all.
Even I don't like him, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, but should we be giving a platform to harmful ideas?
We should allow these ideas to be tested. We should allow them to be tested. This is the point. We can't just.
Well,
this is the point.
Sure, they should be tested, but they should be tested fairly and not biasedly.
Well, if you can't allow someone to speak, then we can't hear what they're saying, and we can't understand anything from their point of view. We just kind of think it's woo-woo. We have to let them speak so we can kind of say, "What are you saying? Is it understandable? Can we actually understand what you're saying? Does it make sense? Let's look at the totality of what you're saying, and then if we don't like it, we can say, look, you're wrong because of A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But if we don't even understand,
so what did we learn from that interview?
So I'm sending this through the chat now. This is the for everyone to see. That is Forbes about Rumble slamming requests from UK lawmakers on Russell Brand. So so TikTok, of course, demonetized Russell. YouTube complied, all those things. The people, all that happened, Cliff Notes, because the article is there, all that happened was basically I wish I knew the exact name, but again, I've watched coverage on this and I've read these articles. I actually thought you guys had known it. I know Given knows, but I thought you would have known it as well, because it was actually talked about in the middle of all of this. But the committee, I think it's for broadcasting or entertainment, but it's a section of the government in the UK that handles entertainment and media in the consumption in the UK, and they deemed it as it would be harmful, and they basically oversee and deem things what are harmful, what are not harmful, etc. So they deemed Russell Brand to be someone of harm, and then they were writing out these letters to the relevant platforms that do platform him, and they were seeking to either get him off the platform or demonetized from making money from the platform, etc. YouTube didn't put him off the platform, but advertisers were blocked from viewing him, etc. The article is there. I can find more, but that's the best I can find in short period, because I actually didn't think I thought it was a well-known thing, but yeah. So that's what happened. This is what I'm talking about in terms of the government getting involved, because this is something that they shouldn't really
is this
get
a government committee?
Yes.
I'm looking at the article that you sent.
The same thing happened with Tate, rightfully so, but they came in and they had to put in lessons in schools.
This letter is from Parliament. This letter is from Parliament. So, sorry, go on.
Oh, go on.
Right here. Sorry, let me say another. This from Deadline is from Parliament. Like Parliament actually, this is coming from the official number 10 Downing Street, blah blah. Like these are all part of their offices. So it wasn't like a media company that is a private. No, this is government funded. This is government. This is a government public sector organization. That's the best way to put it. Not private sector. That would,
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah. So
I mean, I said I'm not going to speak out until I've seen some sources, and now I've seen some sources, and I'm like, if this is actually coming from the government, I don't like it.
Why don't you like it? This is interesting. I mean, they are doing what you basically say that they should do, which is
when did I?
No.
When did I say that the government should be specifically reaching out to platforms to demonetize specific people over sexual assault allegations?
I realize how that came across. That's not what I was saying.
Okay.
What I was saying was the way that you view things, like bad people need to be
silenced.
Yeah, like
that's not what I said. Nice trauma once again. Thank you.
What? They need to be. The views don't need to be shared. Is that what you said? They don't need the views don't need to be shared. The views need to be something like.
Bottom line is this is played. This is basically your world. This is them doing what you want. They're not giving.
No, that's not what I said.
No.
Both of you.
I'm not saying you want the government to do this. I'm saying they are fulfilling your.
You did just say that.
No.
You said no. Wait, let's just let her clear up what she said. What did you say?
Okay.
That bad people should not.
I appreciate that.
Sorry.
Right. It is my opinion that if people consistently show a pattern of harmful behavior without showing any hope of correcting it in the future, because everyone makes mistakes, that's fine. And if you're pointed out those mistakes, you should be undertaking an effort to better yourself. But if consistently that's not happening, I don't feel that those people should be continually given the same opportunities and the same leeway as everyone else, because then there is basically no repercussions and people are going to be continually getting away with poor behavior.
So why?
That's not what I want to happen. Okay, I have more to say, but what do you want to ask?
For the sake of time, because we only have 2 minutes left. Sorry, I just really want to.
True. I don't want I just want to state very clearly in those 2 minutes then that me saying I don't want people to get with harmful ideas to get the same amount of platform as people with non-harmful ideas does not mean that I want the government to be the one cracking down on people, because that can very easily lead to authoritarianism, and I don't want that.
So this does scare you then, because that's what I was asking.
Well,
this move does, because it
scares
is
maybe a big word, but seeing that this did come from the government, it unsettles me, sure, but it's still just a one-off situation. It doesn't seem to be a consistent, broad, like global pattern or whatever.
But they have the power, though. I can see where given
yeah, they also have the power to do lots of terrible stuff.
Yeah, but you should be not you should be, but it should be something that everyone should be fighting for them to have less power to do these things. Like I should be seeing revolts based on this, but I didn't see it at the time. I actually saw people actually celebrating
for just a one-off letter.
Yes, because people actually
revolt for a one-off letter.
I think it's no.
I think that's a bit. I think that's a bit exaggerated.
It's like in a relationship. No, put it this way.
There was clearly backlash because people are speaking out against it, right?
If someone does something that is not to your liking, you state that instantly as it happens. You don't wait till it compounds until it's overwhelming, and then you state that, okay, you need to stop doing that. Because at that point, it might be too late. But you need to.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying people are. Yeah, but people are speaking out against it because that's what those articles that you just sent me are about. Like, people are saying, hey, this is bad. This is a problem. So they are speaking out. I'm just saying a revolt is a bit much right away. That would be like in your relationship example. That would be like if someone does something that's not to your liking and then you immediately break up. Like, simmer down.
It's not breaking up. It's not breaking up. It's just it's making them understand that, you know.
I was just trying to make an example of an over-exaggerated response. That's all.
Okay. All right. If it
sounds like definitely we should be talking about this, because I don't want the government to be doing like specific acts on individuals like this. I don't want that either, because that can very easily lead to authoritarianism, and we should be speaking out against that. That doesn't mean that I want everyone to have the same amount of platform whatsoever.
Right. Okay.
But this is the thing. If someone earns their platform through like their own work, like essentially him talking and people engaging with his talking, if people enjoy him talking, he should be allowed to talk as he wants, like taking that
even if those ideas are harmful.
But if people like them, that's what people want to hear. Clearly there's something wrong in society that people want to hear.
Okay, so then if people want to hear things that harm others, then it's okay.
Put it this way, yeah. For me as a Christian, you can say what you want, yeah. You can say what you want, do what you want. I know what is right to do, and I'll try and tell people to do right. But if they choose to do wrong, I can't force them to do otherwise, because that's their choice. I can only choose to do what I need to do. So if in an ideal market, people could be allowed to do as they please and not be deplatformed for saying things that they really do feel and they really do like identify with or like,
even if those things are harmful.
Because if you have your own
I'd like to live in a world where people are not harmed.
Well, no, I'm not talking about harming people. I'm saying people.
I value the safety of marginalized communities more than the freedom of people to spread harmful ideas. Pardon me.
No, I said people to be able to speak any ideas, not just harmful ideas. Calm down. Any ideas.
Yeah, including harmful ideas, and I don't want harm to be done to people.
Yes, but it's like, oh, I don't like this person because they did this to me in the past, and it made me have a negative feeling towards these people because of the pain I felt as a child in the past because they isolated me and made me feel like this. I hate
That's
these people now.
not what I'm saying.
All I'm saying is people should be allowed to express themselves however they want to, and if people don't want to listen to them, they don't listen to them, and that's how they know that their ideas are not tolerated. People just don't listen.
So would you be fine with it if people are consistently platforming like Ku Klux Klan members?
Well, if people are talking, if the Ku Klux Klan are talking and people are listening and they're enjoying what they're saying, those people are enjoying what they're saying.
And if then they get more members, and then they get more members, and then they start lynching black people.
It is what it is. It is what it is. I will still go to them in peace.
Right. I would rather people don't get lynched.
Meryl.
Me too, but they need to be able to say what they want to say. That's what I'm saying.
Meryl, here's the thing. And I'm coming from a real life experience here. I belong to a church that is actually listed as a terrorist group. Like now they are, but they haven't done anything to be as such. So I'm seeing an overreach of power where they are being listed as that. I probably shouldn't have said terrorist group on YouTube, but what I'm trying to say is, because of the Ku Klux Klan, you can have anybody that may not even be considered as extreme or fringe, but because they espouse ideas that is not considered normal yet, because I have to say yet, because at one point in time there were literally ideas that some people did not deserve basic autonomy. Some people did not. Oh, by the way, what I said, it was based on religious beliefs. It was based on religious beliefs, like, you know. So that's what they were charged for, like, you know, to be placed on that. But what I'm trying to say is, they are not like the Klan. They don't go around lynching white people. Like, they don't go along lynching Asians, etc. Do you see what I mean? Like, this is the flip side of wanting, like, I actually want the world in which you can speak on, but the minute you step that line to go and actually cause actual harm, that's when it stops. That's what I think is
right. What about, I mean, how would you even like do that? Would you rather prevent harm from being done, or like just put specific people in prison after they've done harm?
Well, we're not perfect to. Well, we're not.
We can't do like this. Is crazy. Like, we can't do that.
Like we get things wrong on a regular. Once again, we get things wrong on a regular basis that we don't have. That we shouldn't actually be given the power to try and predict what could be right and wrong when we don't even have it right in.
I'm not talking about predicting right and wrong. Like,
but that's what prevention.
Okay, let me ask you, what, just a simple question, what led up to the Holocaust? What made that possible?
Because Hitler believed that they should have the Aryan race or whatever, a perfect race, blah, blah,
yeah, sure, but that's just one guy. What made it possible for the entire country to actually implement that?
Propaganda.
Yeah. They basically, it's
right. And what was that propaganda specifically?
These people are bad.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So that's where my comparison lies when people are spreading harmful ideas about marginalized communities that are not true, because it leads to the same kind of dehumanization, not in the same scale, not in the same severity. It's the same method that enabled the Holocaust to happen.
I completely understand.
I would rather that we fight against those ideas than just let everyone speak freely, because speaking freely is phenomenal.
But here's the question, though. Here's the question. They didn't just go around to convince people. They didn't just go around and pick the best, J-word there is. They didn't go around to pick the best. They picked the worst of the worst and made an example out of them. That was the method to spread their propaganda. They said,
and they're doing the same thing with trans people. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but
I understand. But that's the flip side I was giving you earlier in regards to the KKK. That this is the pitfalls of us trying to go for preventative measures. the one thing we should be trying to do is that we limit the
Put it
power.
this way.
In my opinion, we limit.
I'm just saying we
power.
shouldn't be giving an equal platform to people who are dehumanizing others.
Put it this way.
That's
Yeah?
not that difficult.
Put it this way.
but the difference-
Imagine in the times of slavery if they said, we just need to silence these people, period. We can't let them espouse these beliefs of free people and free men and all this kind of nonsense. Silence them.
Yeah, you know what the difference is? The demonstrable harm.
Let's do that.
Because slavery caused harm.
Yeah, but
people being trans is not harmful. That's the difference. People being Jewish is not harmful.
But you want to know the difference between your scenario that you just gave? Somebody had the power to do what they had to do. What I was saying was, if we limit that power to the bare minimum, you cannot have another repeat because they have no way of actually getting through the first.
I am again. Let me restate again that I'm not saying that the government is the one that should be doing this. We as people have the responsibility not to platform people who are espousing those kinds of harmful ideas. Please look up stochastic terrorism.
Yes, and that's what Given literally just said.
No, because he's like, everyone should be allowed to speak freely.
If we don't like the ideas,
I'm saying we shouldn't be platforming everyone equally. It doesn't mean that I want the governments to do that.
If we don't like the ideas, we can just say, hey, guys, don't listen to that guy. His ideas are not good. And we move on. He can still have his little platform, but he's got no one listening. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so that's why no one's listening to J.K. Rowling anymore. Oh, wait, that's not true, because she's a multi-billionaire. She can buy all the support she wants.
Meryl, this is you're missing his point.
You're missing it. You're missing
his point entirely. He may have said slavery, but his point is very applicable to Malcolm X and Martin Luther, and that is way past slavery. This is just the 60s. If somebody actually got up and said these people should not speak at all, we wouldn't have anything that we have now. His point is actually very valid. It's just you're focusing on slavery, which is
how many times do I have to repeat? I do not want the government to be the one cracking down on people.
But we didn't use the government.
No, we're not talking about the government. You're missing it. That's what I'm saying. You're missing it. We're just saying generally, if you don't allow people to share their ideas, it's harder. If let's say we end up in a regime which is actually becomes like extremely toxic and becomes quote unquote evil, like the one of slavery's past us, and now we've implemented a system where we don't allow anyone who shares opinions we don't like to say anything, then those people who want to then share the good opinions would then be just shut down. But if we allow everyone to speak freely, we can always allow
this is
for the
a
fact
giant
that
false dichotomy.
Okay,
because
we lost you.
I did not say silence. I did not say cancel. I did not say not let them speak ever at all in any way. I did not say not let them have any platform. I said not equal platform.
Right, Meryl.
But the equal platform comes from the market. That's what I'm saying. The market dictates who they want to platform or not.
Yeah, I'm also anti-capitalist while we're at it, by the way. But that's a whole different discussion.
Can I just ask you a question, right?
Sure, go ahead.
In the 50s, right? In the 50s and 60s, when people were marching for rights, etc., right? Mm-hmm. It was actually considered wrong thing to actually do this. It wasn't actually the right way of doing things. But those people that were marching were given equal platforms. There is so based on that, do you think that the people, I'm not talking about the government, forget the government, do you think that the people should have enough power to basically take away the platform from those people that were doing like bearing in mind it was actually happening, as in they were getting hosed down, all those things. Bear in mind that was actually happening.
Should they limit their voices because they didn't like what they were saying? Should they limit the voices of the essentially the people fighting to abolish slavery because it was inconvenient?
No, not slavery. I'm talking about the 50s.
Jim Crow. So Jim Crow.
No, not even that. Jim Crow was
just the civil rights movement.
Also just equal rights.
Yeah.
Like Brown v. Board of Education, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So like all those events happening, I'm basically asking this from what I'm seeing. if we were to flip the script and go back and use the same things that you're basically saying, that they shouldn't have equal platforms to actually espouse these views, then there is no way, I mean, it was happening, but there is no way, in my opinion, you would see Malcolm X or Martin Luther King actually getting up and having a podium to speak, because people had this power. What would your response be to that?
Well, I don't know why this was missed the previous 10 times I said it. I was specifically talking about no, I didn't even bring up government in this sentence. Hold your guns.
Preventing, see, I was trying to prevent this.
Right, but you were wrong in this case, because what I was saying what I was gonna say.
Okay.
What I've said a number of times already. I'm talking about demonstrably harmful ideas. Right?
But...
So under the idea that we're talking about demonstrably harmful ideas, those ideas that are harmful would not get an equal platform. Those ideas that are not harmful would get an equal platform. So under that logic, people, let me finish. Under that logic, people advocating for for keeping slavery would not get an equal platform. People campaigning for civil rights would get an equal platform, because one of them is harmful and the other is not. And yes, we can only determine what's harmful if we keep talking about it. That's why I've never advocated for silencing anyone.
Right.
I'm not a fan of silencing.
By the way,
I've never said that.
By the way, it was actually considered as harmful for
yeah, it was considered as harmful, but they were wrong, and we could demonstrate that.
We see it wrong now.
Yeah,
but
in
I'm
hindsight,
saying, but then that wasn't actually, people actually didn't see it.
It was also demonstrably harmful then.
The people didn't see
but
it as
people
harmful.
don't. This is what I'm saying. It's very.
I'm not appealing to what people see as harmful. I don't care what people see as harmful. I care about what is harmful.
There is no objective standard for us to stand on this harmful. No, it becomes it's very subjective. So at a certain point,
actually saw the harm when they died. People actually saw the harm. If Martin Luther King and Malcolm lived a full life, not got assassinated, not got hosed down, like if they live a full life, I don't think we would have reached where we are today. Like in the sense that people actually knowing, actually maybe these people do deserve rights. Because at the end of the day, what ended up happening was their deaths actually move people to be like, nah, that's a bit much. Because what ended up happening was the people from those groups actually said, nah, you can't keep doing this, and then rose up in groves. But the core point is, because I don't want to get distracted with those figures, the core point was people believed it would have been harmful for these people to actually really receive civil rights. It wasn't something that should have been given. We think is wrong now because we've grown up. We have matured.
So they had to find another way to silence the community.
What does that change at all to what I said, what people thought back then?
Because
do you think I'm only appealing to what people think is right or wrong?
No, thoughts evolve. Thoughts evolve over time. It doesn't stay. Nothing stays stagnant. It evolves over time.
Okay, so why should we then fight for anything ever if everything is subjective and we might change our mind later? Like,
we should allow for
the changing one's mind. It's not changing one's mind. It's literally you've come to see something. It affects you in one way or the other. Changing one's mind involves something like, I want to have Coke today. Actually, no, let me have orange juice instead. However, you deciding to drink a smoothie instead is actually like an evolution with you, because you realize actually this is a bit healthier for me.
Yeah, but it was also healthier when I wasn't aware that it was healthier.
Yeah, but that's the point.
I was just wrong earlier.
But that's the point, though. Like,
what is the point? Because I'm not appealing to what people think. I'm appealing to what is.
No,
but we can't put what is when it's subjective. because of the reference
It's
point
not
at which you're
subjective.
at.
You can measure.
Bro.
You can measure. Like if people are being murdered left, right, and center, is it subjective to say that's a bad thing?
But what if the people doing the murdering are trying to escape prosecution? Then is it a bad thing? Like this is what I'm saying. Like it becomes subjective.
Is genocide bad?
Okay.
How can you say that? That's subjective. We shouldn't be fighting to prevent genocide because it's just subjective. Maybe in 100 years we find out that genocide is good. Actually,
we will pick this up on the next show while we talk about while we talk about J.K. Rowling, and
we can demonstrate harm. Like we know what suffering is, and we knew even in the times of slavery that it was harming people. It was just that people did not see black people as equally people. That's why I'm against dehumanizing people, because that's what leads to slavery. That's what leads to the Holocaust. That's what leads to stochastic terrorism. If we don't see each other as equally valuable people,
then let's just work harder
so
to spread that idea. So
and spreading that idea includes opposing the other ideas.
Yes, you can oppose
which means we're not going to just let them just spurt it out unopposed.
Well, then you oppose it as they spurt it out. This is what I'm saying. You can make a video.
Yeah, and whenever we oppose that, it's just like, oh, you're trying to silence them.
No, put it this way.
Speaking out against their ideas.
No. Put it this way.
So many times, like whenever someone says something transphobic and there's a backlash, it's like, oh, you're just trying to silence them. No, we're speaking out against a bad idea.
Mero. It's like this. If you say something I don't agree with, I can make a video reacting to what you said and say, no, guys, this is wrong because A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And people like my explanation better, they'll go with me. If they like your original point, they'll go with you. Exactly. That's the point. That's the point. That's the point.
And I'm fine with that. But you know how often just making that video is already construed as, oh, you're just trying to silence them.
But again.
You agree with me that that's not trying to silence them.
Mero, but again, you still have your platform to be able to say what you think still. That's the point. You can
sure. Do you agree that making that reaction video does not constitute trying to silence someone?
100%. You're just sharing your opinion on their opinion. Yeah.
Great. Wonderful. We agree then.
That's what we're saying. You won't understand it.
That's literally all we have time for.
No, because I was saying the same thing, like, and it was just like, oh, but you want to silence people. No, I don't want to silence people. Honestly, I've never said that.
This is all we have time for. Thank you so much, everyone. Silent Midnight.
Yeah, we're way over time. I'm so sorry, by the way.
Silent Midnight says culture changes and so do viewpoints. One day the views that people hold today will change in the future. What one may feel is correct now would then change as it's a several time in the past. That's she goes on to add,
sure, but usually we evolve forwards. It's not like things that we thought were good, then we thought they were bad. Usually we don't go back on thinking, oh no, they were good actually. Usually it doesn't happen. Usually there's just more and more things that we realize are bad, like slavery, like dehumanization, that kind of thing. And I don't get that rhetoric because it feels like a thought-terminating cliche to just say, oh, but it might change tomorrow. So let's just not fight for progress.
To be honest, there is, like, we're trying to say, like, there is like bad things happening now still that we think, oh, we had it correct in the past and now we've changed it to something bad. These things still happen where we're getting it wrong now to when we had it correct in the past.
All right. So guys, we will definitely pick this up on the next time that we're on. I believe that's on the 5th of March. That's the time we're on. Thank you so much everyone for tuning in. Tessa, Tessa, thank you. Eliza, welcome. But we are coming to the end of the show. But yeah, we will definitely pick this back up when we talk about J.K. Rowling, because I believe this is also can be seen as a speech issue, because we were going to talk about the speech on the overreach here, but we have unfortunately run out of time. Thank you again, and any last words, Meryl and Gibbon?
Who wants to go first?
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that, I hope that justice comes to the necessary parties. If they have done wrong, they deserve to be persecuted to the full extent of the law. And whatever happens from here on out, it is what it is.
And Meryl?
And I hope that we can affect societal change, so that we can see everyone as equally valuable humans, so that we don't see any demographics as less than or inherently more harmful than anyone else, and that we can continue to keep talking about stuff, because again, silencing is never good. Silencing is never good, because we need to be continuing to talk about stuff, and we need to be working towards a society in which people don't even want to commit harm as much anymore, because I don't want to harm someone else because I see them as equally human. If I wouldn't see them as equally human, I'd be more likely to harm them.
And no, save it for next show. Save it for next show. Thank you, everyone. Oh, by the way, I am unfortunately silenced on Twitter. I'm locked out for 6 days because I was responding to trolls. So I am being silenced right now by big tech, and it is unfair. So
by Elon?
So guys, you can you can support us by subscribing to the channel. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you share this video with your friends, because I don't know if I'm still gonna be here because I'm being silenced everywhere. I am being locked out everywhere.
They're coming after you.
I can't speak for 6 days. Big tech is after me.
The governments are working together with big tech to come after you.
But yeah, guys, I love every single one of you. Thank you so much, Given and Meryl, for
thank you too for the lively discussion.
Guys.
I mean, I do still respect both of you guys. You know that, right?
The aliens are coming, guys. Be prepared. Be prepared. The aliens are coming.
But anyway, yeah. So and thank you, guys, for chat. For joining on today. Again, don't forget to like this and also share this. And yeah, I will see you on the 5th when we are back. Take care of yourself and have a good evening. Bye bye.
I agree with a lot of what Russell Brand says. What?
I mean, no. I'll just.
We have our entire next episode to get into that.